How's it gone, everybody? I hope you're doing alright. It's Spatiqued here. Spatiqued. Yeah, I was just on Twitter there, lads, and a tweet came into me feed from someone called Irish Conservative, right? And, it was very strange. Like, it said, the tweet said, "Man who killed a man while drink driving but never did a day in prison mocks man who is now 104 days in prison because he won't play along with the woke cult and call a boy a girl. Enoch Burke." Now, that was the tweet like the Irish Conservative sent out, It's Enoch Burke who's in prison, right? And I was wondering, who's the person who's mocking Enoch Burke? And then I scrolled down and there was an embedded, I don't know, was it a photo? Maybe it was a screenshot. A guy called Stevo Timothy, also called Sir Stevo Timothy. Now, I think that's just the sort of, it's a kind of, how would you say this? A sort of a make-up name. I don't think there's a person out there with a birth certificate, that says Sir Stevo Timothy. Yeah, so Stevo Timothy, he says in the tweet, he says, "Spare a thought for Enoch Burke this Christmas, the only prisoner in Ireland that has chosen to be locked up." So I think that, some people wouldn't have liked that tweet from Stevo Timothy, do you know what I mean? They wouldn't have liked it because, some people think Enoch Burke is right and he's shown conviction, he's shown conviction for his beliefs. Now, other people are saying, all he has to do is say to the prison people, and to the judges, that he promises he won't go back to the school. But I don't know, lads. I don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to tell you what's going on, because truth be told, Spatique doesn't have a clue what's going on. Only get snippets of information off the internet, and the internet's full of lies. You don't know what to believe, So, I went back up then and oh God, it's after, what the hell? Oh, it's back, yeah, it's back. Disappeared for a second, yeah. So, I went back up to Irish Conservative, I didn't know, I didn't know that your man, this Stevo Timothy, according to Irish Conservatives tweet, Stevo Timothy, he killed a man, if you kill a man, that makes you a murderer, doesn't it, Does that not make you a murderer, and if you kill someone, if it's accidental, people might say, sure, it was manslaughter, but, is manslaughter not still murder, And if it's murder, if you kill someone, even if it wasn't pre-medi, even if you hadn't planned to kill them, even if you hadn't planned to kill them, is it not still murder, and should you not go to prison? How could you, let's say you decided, you made the decision to get absolutely hammered drunk, and you got into a car, and you mowed some hapless victim down, you killed him. What sort of a banana republic wouldn't send you, to rot in jail for that, you don't even serve a minute in prison, after you kill someone. How does that work, lads? I'm not a legal eagle. You can tell me in the comments, lads, how does it work, Do you have to be a member of the the stonemasons or something like that, to get away with that? I don't get it, I guarantee you Spatique, Spatique had a lot of cans of Dutch gold, right? And he went out in a car and killed someone. I guarantee you, the Irish government, they'd lock me away for the rest of my life. But they didn't lock away your man, Sir Stevo, Sir Stevo. So, yeah, I think that's a bit odd. Anyway, so, let me know what you think, lads. I think it's weird, if there's one thing YouTube loves, it's dialogue and throwing out your ideas, and freedom of speech. So, feel free to leave your comments underneath this video, lads. And, Well, you're very welcome, lads. You're very welcome to Traitor FM, like. And while you're here, lads, this might be your first time listening to SPATIQUED. Make sure you subscribe, lads, and make sure you share this video far and wide, because, like, I think there's a lot going on here, and to be honest with you, I don't have a clue what's going on. But all I know is, like, there's a lot going on, like, there's a lot going on. So, I went to Steve Timothy's Twitter page, like, to find out about him, like, and it turns out he's an aspiring Irish comedian. What he's written in his bio is Irish comedian, sketch artist, Everton fan, disabled fella, and fundraiser. So yeah, I don't really get that. Like, I thought there was no such thing as disabled people. I thought everyone was abled, I thought everyone was a winner, bit weird to put disabled into your bio, it's a bit, I don't know, I don't get it. I thought everyone was able-bodied. Even if you couldn't move your arms and your legs, you were still considered able-bodied, because everyone's a winner, So, yeah. So, scrolling down now through his Twitter, like, I think I'll put a link into his Twitter, lads, and that way you will be able to go through his tweets yourselves, That's what I'll do. I'll put a link to Irish Conservatives' tweet, and then I'll put a link to Sir Stevo Timothy's Twitter page, and that way you'll be able to scroll down through his tweets, and sure, if you want to talk to him, you can leave messages for him. It's up to you, like. I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do, So, yeah, right, let me go down here a little bit, something about Farmer Michael, don't know what that's about. What's this? He's saying, if you ever wanted Farmer Michael to mock you, now's your chance. And he's serious, because he's 4 exclamation marks after chance. Farmer Michael will grill your friend, wife, granny, workmate, or just call them every name under the sun. Order yours here now. And he gives a link. So, like, what's that like? Does that mean you have to pay money to get him to bully people, is it? That sounds like bullying, doesn't it? I think that sounds like abuse, Is that legal, lads? Can you do that, lads? Can you pay someone, to grill someone, grill them and call them every name under the sun? Are you able to do that legally? I'm just, I'm not a legal eagle, lads. Yeah. Duh. So he then has another tweet here, and let's look this up yourselves. Or what you could even do is you could click on the link to his Twitter page and scroll down as I'm talking, so that you can see what I'm talking about. Because I'm just too lazy, I'm too lazy to download all the photos or screenshots and all that and put them up. I'm too lazy. So easier for you to click the Sir Stevo Timothy Twitter page and then scroll down, so that we're on the same page. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So yeah, his next one is this is what TikTok thinks my child will look like. And then he's got 2 emoticons, the crooked head with the kind of smiley and the 2 tears coming out of the eyes. He says, bless us and save us, Lord, right? Yeah, is that not blasphemy? Is that, using the Lord's name in vain? Like, would that not be blasphemy, lads? Like, if he lived in another country and he went after a prophet, using the prophet's name in vain, like, could he get into trouble, like? Just curious, lads. Yeah, so there's some sort of photo of him. I don't know if the photo of him when he's younger, or if it's some sort of computer model, but that sounds like self-loathing, like, that sounds like you hate yourself. And people, like, I'm not a pop psychologist, I'm not Jordan Peterson, but like, if you're putting up, images of yourself or computer models of a possible child of yours, and you're running it down, that tells me that, you absolutely hate yourself. And, people who usually hate themselves, like, they project that hatred onto everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, rather than look into the darkness of their own soul, they project all that vitriol out into the world. You know, these are horrible people. Now, I'm not saying Sir Stevo Timothy does that, but what I'm trying to say is, like, it's kind of a hallmark of a psychopath. You know, that they do that they run themselves down on social media so that they could get kind of brownie points for it. You know. Anyway, yeah, scrolling down slowly here now. All right. Oh God, right. I don't know what this is about. What was normal when you were a kid, but you never see anymore, right? And he wrote, "Getting Fixed by Jimmy," right? Is that like Jimmy Savile? Is that Jimmy Savile he's alluding to? Because, you know, Jimmy Savile had a program called Jim Will Fix It, wasn't it? So, like, you know, what's going on there, lads? Do you know? Any ideas, lads? I think it's a bit queer, do you know, to do that, you know? But sure, you know, to everyone they're on, like, to everyone they're on. Alright, so now he's kind of showboating. He says, "Proud day today, I've been called disgusting," and he's loads of emoticons. And the inserted tweet is from a guy called Bob Mansbach. And Bob says, "So proud you must be, going on a PR campaign with a documentary in tow because you murdered an innocent person. You can use all the buzzword shite you like, you're still a disgusting excuse of a human. Calling anyone a lunatic with how you carry on is hilariously ironic." So Bob was putting it up to Sir Stevo Timothy, and Sir Stevo Timothy, you know, instead of trying to open up dialogue with Bob, maybe find a solution, Sir Stevo Timothy just, you know, and, you know, he didn't mention, you know, he could have tried to get in about the thing about murder, but no, Sir Stevo Timothy ignored that. He just said, "Proud day today, I've been called disgusting," and loads of happy emoticons, which is kind of weird when someone, do you know, like if someone accuses you of being a murderer and you respond by saying it's a proud day, and you've loads of emoticons, like, do you know, that's kind of weird that you're avoiding the, you know, the elephant in the room, do you know. All right, there's more about, oh, he's got another tweet. He must have sent out this tweet loads of times. Yeah, Father Michael, he wants, order here, again, Father Michael will abuse you, call you every name under the sun. Not you, someone you know. Yeah, that's, I don't know, I think that's fucked up. And as I say, like, is that legal, lads? Yeah. Duh. So, moving on here, he's on about, "I finally caught up on my outstanding cameos. Apologies for the few I missed, thank you." So, something about a cameo. Order yours here. So, it's another, all right, it's a personalised video sketch for Christmas, all right. So, he's doing a lot of advertising for his sketches. By the way, lads, like, I've looked at some of his sketches and I think they're absolutely rubbish compared to the great non-comedy material here on Traitor FM. Like, you know, we don't do comedy on Traitor FM. We don't do satire, even though some people say it's satire, and some of the people working here say it's satire. As far as I'm aware, it's all it's all well researched, and you know, it's I forgot what I was going to say there. The reason I forgot what I was going to say is because my eye dropped down to the next tweet from Sir Stevo Timothy, right? And like, do you know, like, if he's supposed to be a comedian, like, you'd expect some hilarious tweets, right? But this is another one with that embedded, question. What was normal when you were a kid, but you never see anymore? And he responded, "Hairy white dog shites." Like, I don't know, like, I just don't really, I don't really find it funny, do you know? I don't know, like, it seems very, really, really lowbrow, do you know? Too lowbrow for even me, SPATIQUED. And I've an IQ of 207. So yeah. All right, yeah. So here's another one from Sir Stevo Timothy, right? He says, Enoch Burke believes his rights to treat everyone who doesn't agree with him like second-class citizens, and this is based on a fairy tales from a Bronze Age cult. So like what's he doing is, is Sir Stevo Timothy having a go at Enoch Burke because, he's religious, he's Christian, because like he says Bronze Age cult, like, fairy tales. And like, is that not kind of mocking someone's religious beliefs, I'm just asking the question, like, surely, you'd be nice and you'd be tolerant, you wouldn't go after someone's religious beliefs, So he says, believes his rights to treat everyone who doesn't agree with him like second-class citizens. Well, like you could say that Enoch Burke is a second-class citizen because, he's the one who was fired from his job for his, religious beliefs, possibly, allegedly, lads, allegedly, and, is languishing in prison now because, he won't take back, his stand. He's making a stand, like, But, there's other people who say, like, he should just say he won't go to the school, and then he'd be home for the Christmas turkey, So, like, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50, But I don't think, people should be, taking the piss. Taking the piss out of someone who's in prison, do you know what I mean? Like, when they haven't really, they haven't killed anyone, do you know what I mean? Like, they're in prison, but they haven't killed anyone, do you know? And let's say you did kill someone, and you're taking the piss out of someone in prison who didn't kill someone, do you know? Something weird about that. Do you not think there's something weird about that, lads? It's almost as if there's one law for the aspiring comedians, and there's another law for everyone else, So, yeah. Right. Okay, right. So, like, Stevo Timothy, like, he's responded to another tweet. The embedded tweet is S Dubs, and it says, "You're still a reckless fuck. Now take a good hard look at yourself and your own vile, irresponsible behaviour instead of taking the piss out of innocent school teachers behind bars. You nasty piece of work." Now, you'd wonder, how would Sir Stevo Timothy respond to that? And he does respond by saying to the person, he says, "You should be protecting my freedom of speech." So do you not think that's kind of queer, lads? Sir Stevo Timothy's on about freedom of speech, but he doesn't believe in the freedom of speech of Enoch Burke, do you know? Do you not think that's, hypocritically, hypocritically, I think it's hypocritically. And his next tweet, like, it's starting to turn against, everyone seems to be turning against Sir Stevo Timothy now. And he has to mention, the boogeyman. So he says, "The far-right lunatics have unearthed my dark secret about my past alcoholism and drink driving. You know the secret I talk about daily, chatted about on the Late Late Show and made a documentary about on TG Cahir." Now, right, where do I start here? This is getting really weird now. Very sociopathic, very sociopathic. So, like, right, the far right racist lunatics. What's racism got to do with, do you know what I mean? An Irishman in prison because of his Christian beliefs. What's racism got to do with that? My dark secret about my past alcoholism and drink driving. Like, isn't it amazing, right? In that sentence, he mentions alcoholism and drink driving, but he doesn't mention the killing of the person. Do you know what I mean? The killing of the innocent person. He doesn't mention that. Isn't that a bit queer? It's almost as if he's never owned up to killing the man. Do you know? Or was it a woman he killed? I don't know. It's almost as if he's not owning up to it, which is what a sociopath would do. They wouldn't own up to, committing a crime, But they'll mention other stuff, but, they'll mention the other stuff so they can paint themselves as a victim, Right. Duh. So, okay, right, someone else, alright, someone else has, you know, giving him socks, like, Toby Thoughts said, shouldn't you be in jail for drink driving, killing a man? Stevo Timothy responds, that's what I wanted, but the judge ruled against it. Premeditation was not involved. So there you go. So you can, you know, if that's true, like, you know, so Stevo Timothy, like, you know, if that's true, that means you can go out and get absolutely hammered drunk, get into your car and drive, and you could knock down 100 people, you know, 100 people. And you wouldn't go to jail because it wouldn't be premeditated. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's it, lads. I'll drop the link to the original tweet that went into my feed, and I'll also put a link to Sir Stevo Timothy's Twitter channel, so you can go down through his tweets. Some of those tweets might disappear, you know, because they look a little bit messy, you know. So anyway, lads, let me know what you think. Like, leave a comment, like, you know, and if YouTube, like, you know, if they start, you know, blocking comments and all that, just go over to BitChute. That's what I'll do. I'll put a link into BitChute for the BitChute channel as well, and you can go over to BitChute and leave your comment there. Do you know, like, if YouTube, do you know, they start blocking your comments, do you know, try it on BitChute. And when you're over on BitChute, sure, subscribe over there. And once again, lads, I expect to get lots of views for this video, you know, lots of views. So, like, if it's your first time coming to Trader FM, like, you know, some people say it's a great comedy channel and it's very good at comedy sketches and satire, you know. This is my parting words, lads, you know, this channel's all about having a laugh, but I tell you what's not a laugh, lads. Getting hammered drunk, going out and killing someone. I tell you, there's nothing funny about that.